Hello everyone, I'm going to teach you how to play chess. Um, it might look kind of complicated, it might look like there's all kinds of pieces that you don't know how they move, whole bunch of rules to learn, but it's really not that bad once you break it down into steps. So for the first step, I'm just going to teach you how pawns work. And we're going to worry about the other pieces later on, and we'll slowly learn about each piece and build up until we're comfortable with all of them, and then the game will make sense. So what we have here in front of us is a board, and I've removed all of the pieces except for the pawns, and I'm going to demonstrate how the pawns work. They're one of the most weak pieces on the board, but they can end up being very instrumental in how the game turns out later on. So I'm going to show you. When you move a pawn, you have you have two options if it's the pawn's first move. If it's the pawn's first move, you can either move it up 2 or you can move it up 1. So that's up to you. Once it's moved though, from that point on, it can only move 1 square at a time. It cannot move 2 squares after its first initial move, even if it only moves up 1 on its first move. So pawns can only move forward. They can't go backwards. They can only move 1 space at a time forward, except for that initial 2 space jump if they want to. The only exception to that is if a pawn happens to be diagonally forward from that pawn. If there's any piece, I'm sorry, if there's any piece diagonally forward from that pawn. At that point, they can attack in a diagonal direction. They actually can't attack in a forward facing direction. So let's say you have this particular configuration right here. This pawn can't attack this pawn, and this pawn can't attack this pawn. Like they're forever stuck there until something else moves them out of the way, or if it has an opportunity to attack diagonally and move up. These pawns are really good for defending your more important pieces. They're kind of your rank and file soldiers. Um, it allows you to build up a good defense, but the strongest thing about a pawn is that if it ends up reaching the end of the board, it can promote into either a queen, a knight, a rook, or a bishop. And we'll get into those pieces later. I'm just going to tell you right now that the queen is the most powerful piece on the board. So if you can get a pawn up to the top and promote to a queen, that can usually tip the game in your favor. So that's it for the pawn lesson, and I will see you in the next video.